Food produced globally is lost or wasted around one-third that correspond to an annual generation of roughly 1.3 billion tons of waste. An abundant food culture has produced huge amounts of food waste that is equivalent to around 40% of the total amounts of garbage every year. Statistically, the United States is one of the countries which produce a huge amount of food waste, where the Americans throw away almost 40 million tons of food every year, which costs more than 161 USD billion. In Malaysia, it is reported that on average, household in Malaysia throw away around 0.5 to 0.8 kilogram uneaten food per day, and this problem is expected to be increased in a few years while corresponding to economic developments, populations growth, and urbanizations as Malaysia population is expected to be increased by 2030.
One of the alternatives that can solve problem regarding food waste is composting. Composting can be the way that can decrease the greenhouse gas that released because of the root food waste dumped in the landfill and burnt food waste. There are two types of food waste, which are edible and are non-edible. In this case, non-edible food waste is used for composting because it is high organic matter content and low heavy metals. Non-edible food waste is the part of the food that is not commonly consumed or be eaten by people, which is banana peels and eggshell. In order to speed up the function of composting process, microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi has been used for most decomposition. For physical decay, tiny millipedes, insects, and earthworms have acted as primary agents. The microorganism release enzyme during the composting breakdown the several organic compounds in food waste. So the enzyme involved in this composting process is cellulase, which depolymerizes cellulose, beta-glucosidase, which hydrolyzes glucoside, and urease that involved in N-mineralization. And lastly, phosphate and sulfate group can get from organic compounds. Composting process has two phases where organic matter undergo changes. So the phases is degradation and maturation. The first phase is mediated by aerobic microorganisms with consumption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide and energy by the most easily degrading organic, which are all sugars, organic acids, and amino. In the first phase, phytotoxins have been produced, which proceed the decomposition of the organic matter. So the fresh compost obtained with the help of high temperature, pH condition, and humidity in order to activate the microorganism, which is bacteria, during this phase. Next, for maturation stage, invertebrates such as earthworms and centipedes disintegrate the compost material into small particles that called humus. The humus is formed between the strong relationship of animal and vegetable waste, where it is related to chemical and biological transformation with microbial synthesis. So the humification is described to oxidative the polymerization of phenolic and resulted by the catabolism of lignin, tannins, and polyphenols.
Turning food waste into new product can reduce the amount of food waste and loss. According to Peters in 2019, fruits and vegetables have the highest percentage of wastage rate than any other food products. Fruits are made into jams, which have a longer shelf life than the fruit itself. Several companies have been using food waste as ingredients to market their ability to prevent food waste. For instance, Fopo, a European company, uses fruits and vegetables that are on the verge of being discarded into powder that contains most of the nutrition of the original fruit by freeze-drying them and can last up to 2 years. Thus, this action will bring awareness to consumers and potentially inspire them to cut food waste at home. Not only food waste can be turned into new food, it can also be made into new product. The food waste industry is tracked by organizations such as ReFed, which stated that 70 business and nonprofits have successfully transformed food waste into new products. Bergstrom 2021 stated that companies and public-private collaborations have developed new methods to give second life to food waste as new material, such as plastic. Furthermore, researchers are currently studying to produce super strong concrete from fibers in vegetable roots and surfboard wax from mango seeds. Hoffman 2022 stated that rice husks have a variety of applications such as cement insulators, adsorbents, and construction materials because of their silica content.
Another alternative to solve the problem with regard to the food waste is food additive. Food additive is defined as a substance that are added to food to keep or enhance the safety, freshness, taste, texture, and look of the food. They can be obtained by extraction from plant or animal products or from microorganisms such as bacteria and are used as an alternative to chemical-based technology. Some food preservative has been used for preservation are salt, sugar, and sulfur dioxide. They are mainly used in baking to improve dough, make fruit juice to increase yield, in wine making and brewing to improve fermentation, and in cheese making to improve curd formation. There are three types of preservative. The first one is antimicrobial. Antimicrobial is used to check or prevent the growth of microorganisms in food. Second is antioxidant. Antioxidants are used to prevent oxidation and subsequent development of rancidity and of flavor. Antioxidants are especially used in preserving dry and frozen food for extended periods of time. Some examples of antioxidants are vitamin C and E, selenium, and carotenoids. The third one is anti-browning agent. Anti-browning agents are used to prevent both enzymatic and non-enzymatic browning in food products, especially are in dry food and vegetable. For example, vitamin C, citric acid, and sodium sulfite are the most commonly used additives in this category. Hence, food additive is one of the way to solve the problem with regard to the food waste because it can extend the shelf life of food. The use of food additive can extend shelf life of food by preventing oxidation, more preventive and inhibiting decay.
So next alternative is temperature control. In order to avoid formation of dangerous pathogenic microorganisms, proper temperature is crucial for food safety. Additionally, since the food cannot decay, food waste is less likely. So the step in controlling the temperature is by cooling down the hot food, reheating food to the proper core temperature, which is at least 70 Celsius for 2 minutes. Next is storing high-risk food in refrigerators and freezers. Last but not least, holding hot and cold items at safe temperature, which is above 63 Celsius and below 8 Celsius respectively.
So in conclusion, food waste can bring harms to the environment if it is not managed properly. It is highly contribute to the pollutions and greenhouse gases which can cause the global warming and climate change. So there are several alternatives that can be practiced to avoid the negative impacts of food waste, such as turn food into compost, remade as new products, food additives, and temperature controls. So these alternatives can improve the food waste management so that the environmental problems can be reduced and also our health standard can be improved.